traveled the length and breadth of South Carolina over the last year and a half. I've been encouraged. I've been hopeful from what I've seen. And I tell people as I travel that when I'm in the state capitol, I get frustrated because there's not a lot going on in state government right now. But when I get on the road and I go through Greenville, or I go through Mullins, or I go through Hampton, or I go through Beaufort, or I go through my hometown of Camden, and I see what local government is doing against the odds and with not a lot of help, and I see what our local businesses are doing and our technical colleges are doing and our hospital systems, I get excited because I know we can do it. I know that people are out there working hard to make South Carolina a better place, and it gives me hope. You give me hope for the future. For those of you I haven't met on the trail, I hope to see you soon. I hope to come to a town near you, and I do want to share a little bit with you about who I am. I was born and raised in Camden, South Carolina, where I still live today, the son of a small businessman and a public school teacher. And I learned from my father very early that only through hard work are you successful. And I know I'm looking at a group of people who work hard. I learned that while I was cleaning my father's store on the corner of Broad and DeKalb, because as the only son, my job was to clean the printing store from top to bottom. And ladies and gentlemen, I still believe that only through hard work will we be successful, and that nothing that's worth having do you get for free or without some hard work. My mother, the public school teacher, she taught me that the public schools are the future of South Carolina, ladies and gentlemen. The public schools are the future. These lessons, these values that I learned at home, it's now my generation's responsibility to live them and to pass them on. I've been happily married for the last 15 years to my college sweetheart who I met at Clemson University. And then I went to USC for law school.
Yeah! Yeah!
You know a good politician when you can cover both colleges. I'm trying to figure out how to get a degree from the College of Charleston and SC State, but I haven't got it out yet. We have three wonderful sons who share their father's love of the outdoors and go to the same public schools that I did almost 25 years ago. Ladies and gentlemen, I am deeply rooted in my Christian faith where I live, in my communities. I'm deeply rooted in a close family structure, and I love the communities of South Carolina. And that is who Vincent Sheheen is, ladies and gentlemen. That is who Vincent Sheheen is. And those values that I learned growing up from my parents and from my family and from my neighbors, those are the values that I still believe in, and I know you still believe in, and those are the values that I attempt to live my life by every day. And ladies and gentlemen, I tell you, I was asked earlier why I'm running for governor, and I'll tell you. Because those same values that are really at the core of what South Carolina is, those are the same values that the leaders, statewide leaders of this state, for the last almost decade, have given lip service to while they mock them with their actions, ladies and gentlemen. And I, for one, am about to say that enough is enough, and we don't have to deal with that anymore. We do not have to deal with what we've seen in the state of South Carolina for the last decade. We don't need another governor who is a show horse. What we need is a governor who is a workhorse. That's what we need right now. And we don't need another governor who's more interested in being on national television than they are in governing the state of South Carolina. And we don't need another governor who will think that it's cute to bring pigs and horses in the State House, because what we need is a governor who wants to bring jobs and businesses into the state of South Carolina and into your community. I say that enough is enough because I know what we need right now, and what we need right now is hard work. Not a part-time governor, someone who will roll up their sleeves and every day work for the state of South Carolina. And I'll tell you another reason that I'm proud to be here. And it's because I, for one, am tired of all the squabbling, all the pettiness, all the partisanship that we've seen experienced. And I know that you work together to make things happen. And right now, more than anything in this state, we need someone who will bring us together to make things happen for South Carolina. I'm tired of our leaders who get out and they say one thing and then they do another. And I'm tired of those leaders who pretend like they're one thing when in fact they're something much, much different. I want a government that actually works. And I think we ought to expect to have a government that actually works, ladies and gentlemen. And most of all, I am tired of being mocked and ridiculed on late night television because of what our statewide leaders say and do that embarrass us. Because we're better than that. We're a proud people, and we deserve to be proud of our leaders as well. I want to step back for just a minute and emphasize the importance of this election. Ladies and gentlemen, we have serious problems, and it's not just the typical cute political game that we've seen played for a long time. We have one of the highest unemployment rates in the entire nation, and we have for the last 6 years. We have young professionals leaving the state of South Carolina at alarming rates and moving to Georgia, North Carolina, and Tennessee. We have teachers being laid off at unprecedented rates that have never happened in my lifetime, and I would guess never happened in the lifetimes of most of the people in this room. We've had statewide elected officials in the last 8 years go to jail for bribery, for drug use, and we had a governor who paid over 60 ethics fines for breaking the law and being reprimanded by his own ethics commission. These are not normal things for the state of South Carolina, ladies and gentlemen, and we shouldn't accept them as normal. Don't forget that in the 1990s, we had one of the lowest unemployment rates in the nation. In the 1990s, we were seen by much of the country as on the cutting edge of education improvement in this nation. And we had, perhaps most importantly, serious leaders like Dick Riley, like Carol Campbell, like Fritz Hollings and others who respected us and we respected them. And they worked hard to create jobs for South Carolina, and they worked hard to invest in public education for South Carolina, and they worked hard to bring us together so that we would be successful, and we saw the payoff from that investment in the 80s and the 90s as we were seen as part of the New South moving ahead. And how are we looked at now? How are we looked at now after this last decade? You know the mess that we're in now. And we are in a mess. We have serious problems. We have serious dysfunction in our state government. And you know how we got there. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to apologize for politicking because I'm with politicians, but more importantly, because we have to understand the choice this year. And after the mess that we're in right now, for Mark Sanford to think that the state of South Carolina is going to elect his hand-picked successor makes me just think, are we crazy? Does he think we're crazy? Does he think we're crazy, ladies and gentlemen? This election is the most important election in more than a generation because I believe, and I know you believe, that it is truly for the heart and the soul of this state and what direction we will move in, and the choice couldn't be starker. The differences couldn't be more drastic, and I think they're established by the fact that I am here today, reaching out to local elected officials to say to you that we can work together to make South Carolina a better place. We have a choice, a real choice between the last 8 years and what we want the next 4 years to be like. The last 8 years have been marked by division, they've been marked by dispute, they've been marked by misdirection. And I want to bring forth a vision of unity, of progress, and of hope. It's written in the book of Proverbs that without a vision, the people perish. And ladies and gentlemen, we've been without a vision in this state for far, far too long. There are a lot of you. Thank you.